What's up, everyone? This is Leah Farsayer,
They parlay.
and we are Prayers, and we're hanging out with Rob, Front Row Live Entertainment. I won a scholarship for fashion design, and then I went to jail. When I came out of jail, I actually fell in love with hypnosis, and I went to school for hypnosis instead of fashion. So that's where I actually fell in love with the way that I speak and the way that I form words, and I realized that I have a way of speaking that's called in school it's called NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and it's kind of like poetry for the subconscious mind, and it's the way that I speak, and it's the way that I write my words when I create music. So so when I first started doing these music, I was already into fashion. So it was easy for me to just start doing our merch when it came to our jackets or to the look. Since I'm huge into fashion, I always try to bring that's my first love. So it makes sense that in the way that we dress and the clothing and whatnot, it's always custom made, for us, because I don't know, for me aesthetic is very important, and it's part of where, like, I ended up come in, Dave, come in, we're waiting for you, brother. So
Jump on in there. You can get right there. It's cool.
it's hey, baby.
Hey, no, man, Robert. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is my best friend right here, my spirit brother, Dave Parlay, aka the Beat Master, Beat Monster, the NPC. So, like I was saying, yeah, like, for me, everything tells a story, right? Like a painting, a song, and so do the clothing that you wear. Its presentation, it speaks for itself. So for me, I've just always been into, like, appearances. Maybe I'm shallow that way, but I just love elegance, and I think it's one of the reasons I really got into the music that we're creating, which is the whole gothic scene. And like, I love that it's elegant. The Victorian gowns and just the aesthetic. It's just, for me, it's there's not an appearance for me that stands out as much as that. Like, where I see myself and I said, hey, I relate to that, and I can't see myself wearing board shorts. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Even though I don't have a shirt on right now, but my body's telling a story. You know what I mean? My tattoos are telling a story. So yeah, that's how I got into painting the jackets and everything, was because my first love was fashion.
That's cool. And that's funny, because then that just adds on to how you've mixed, cholo with goth, and then now you add the fashion. That's not something you see in that kind of like style.
Yeah, well, the whole gang thing, the whole cholo thing, like that is part of the culture, but it's something, okay. You're a product of your environment, right? So we all are in one sense or another, but I broke the mold, when it comes to that, because I saw outside that box that I was in, and there was things that I just naturally was attracted to and that I resonated with, and I wasn't going to let my environment keep me from that, even though I still embrace and celebrate my environment, which is the neighborhood I grew up in, the people I grew up around, but I was still looking past that and further, and I'm still gazing further and further from where I am now. This is about self-exploration, self-liberation, self-awareness. This whole thing that I'm doing here, along with my partner Dave Parlay, for me, I can speak for myself. For Dave Parlay, could be something different, but for me, it's about self-awareness. I am just trying to discover who I am through the art that I create, through the music, the lyrics through the music that I'm making with Dave. It's all about that. It's just about me figuring out who this individual is that you're here in front of today.
What's it like with you two, like going in the studio, going to produce a song or writing a track?
Sorry for interrupting. Well, it's really organic. There's something that happened between Dave and I. When we first met, it was just instantly, for lack of better words, magical, in the sense that we came together so organically, and we were just each other's missing piece. I really am attracted to the darkness, in a lot of different ways, and David is the light, that I need in my life in order to, like, get through obstacles, because I will literally lock myself in a room for months and not come out and not have no social contact. I disappear. But David, like, somehow is that light that that helps me through and helps me get the fuck out of that abyss that I so often seem to fall into, you know? So our relationship is one. I don't know if he needs me as much as I need him, but I definitely need him in the sense of a friend, someone that I can trust in and believe in. I've been burnt so much, and so much by family, by friends. I mean, you know, I haven't talked to my daughter in a year. Like, you know, I've had a lot of heartbreaks and a lot of betrayal. So it's hard for me sometimes to really like just want to be around people. You know, I can turn it on and you would be like, man, you know, that guy's charismatic and friendly, and I am, but it's an act. You know, inside, it's just I know how to interact. You know, I know how to interact, but it's just like for me, interacting with people, it's like a shield. You know, it's just a way of me defending myself. You know, because I don't want people to have to get too in depth with me. But the music is where really you see the side of me that I hide and protect.
You kind of jumped in on it, which I was going to ask later, but I'll just do it now. Is that the reason for the song Friends Are Poison?
Yes, Friends Are Poison was written because I was betrayed by a group of friends, you know. One of them was sleeping with my daughter, and he was supposed to be a really, really close friend of mine. And him and my daughter were in a relationship that they kept secret from me from a long time, and so did the circle that we were in. So I was in a group of in a circle of friends that we were all really close, or at least I thought. But behind my back, them and everyone knew that my daughter was dating this guy that even though he was a friend of mine, he was someone I didn't approve of because I really know his character. So I didn't think he was good enough for my daughter. Just wanted to protect her. But everyone kept it away from me until I was on tour. I found out. I was devastated by it, and I kind of lashed out and got upset with all these people. And they just, you know, I felt like no one had my back. No one came up to me and be like, hey, you know what, man? This guy is fucking dating your daughter. No one even told them, like, maybe you guys should go and, you know, bring this up to your father or to your friend that you're, you know. And that's where Friends Are Poison came from, you know. So Friends Are Poison, let's see, what do I say? Friends are poison, friends are dead weight. They'll talk behind your back, they'll lie to your face, they'll kick you when you're down, they'll spit in your face. Friends are poison, friends are dead weight. So to be honest with you, I don't believe in that word anymore, man. I'd rather say, you know what, this is my brother. Yeah. Instead of saying this is my friend. Friends, I think, is just a word that isn't valued, isn't appreciated, and it doesn't have the same meaning that maybe it has for others or that it does for me. So I'd rather use the word acquaintances, because at the end that's really what they turn out. And do you know that an acquaintance in so many ways is way better than a friend? Because a friend has self-entitlement, and an acquaintance is always trying to earn your friendship. Therefore, they will be polite. They will watch what they say and do around you. And you know, they're more likely to do a solid favor for you. Why? Because they're trying to win your friendship. Because they're not friends yet. Once they become friends, you will notice the change. Yeah. They will not behave the same way anymore. They'll call you. They might crack jokes. They'll fuck your girlfriend behind your back. They'll do things that aren't really friend-like. So I'd rather just say, hey, that's my acquaintance, my close acquaintance, my brother. Travis Barker, my brother.
And speaking of Travis, like, how did that even, like, how did that come about with you guys? He's already doing his thing. He has a million things to do, and then you guys pop up. And last I spoke with him, he was just talking nonstop about you guys.
You know, and to be honest with you, man, I think we're just cut from the same cloth. I think we're all just trying to find others that are like us, and I think when we see them, we recognize them. Like they say, you know, real recognize real, you know. And we saw the God in him and he saw the God in us, and we came together, and it was apparent by this album. You listen to this album, everything's a fucking hit in that album. Every song's a fucking hit. You know, when we got to the studio with Travis for the first time of meeting each other, went to the studio, we created Young Gods in less than an hour. In less than an hour, that song came to life. You know, so that's when we knew he was one of us, and we were like him, and we're part of the same being, that same energy that, you know, is, you know, for lack of better words, man, you know, every man and woman is a star. Just some are seen and some aren't, you know? And I think Travis, Dave, and myself are those bright stars that you see up in the sky. And you can't help but notice them. So it's obvious that we're going to notice him and he's going to notice us.
That's cool. And that's the same kind of relationship you guys had when he first, you know, popped up at your show, right? You guys ended up doing something in like less than a week.
Yeah, we did our first album, SD Killwave, in 2 days of knowing each other. 4 songs the first day, another 4 the second. Played our first show the third day of knowing each other. And we've only been brothers since as long as the band has been around. As long as, you know, Prayers has been around, that's as long as Dave and I have known each other.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, what do you think it was that when he first came up to you that, you know, it made you want to leave that band and be like, all right, I'm going to listen to this guy?
Yeah, well, you know, the band I was in was already breaking up because there was too many egos, you know what I mean, in that band, and we were clashing, and, you know, everyone wanted to be the leader and shit, but we were breaking up. Dave came to our show. He saw me perform. He saw us perform. I got off stage. He came up to me and he was like, "Hey man, you know what? I ain't never seen anything like you in my life. I want to make music with you. You're fucking way too good to be playing in this fucking band. You should fucking let me show you what I'm capable of doing." And that just won me over, you know. It won me over just because his confidence, you know. And I just saw it in his eyes, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I fucking believe you, dude. Like, sure, come." And I was like, "Come by the studio tomorrow." So he came over to my place, brought his MPC, plugged it in, and he just organically made a beat. He was like, "Yo," and then I was like, "Shit, all right." And then I started writing to it, and that was from Dawg to God, right? And that was our first song. He just right there, and he pulled it out of me. It wasn't like I came, you know, like I had a bunch of stuff written down or anything. I just heard the beat and then I wrote those words, and that was the song, you know. And then we followed it up, you know, and then that's what SD Killwave, same thing, you know, like it just came like that organically. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're here tonight. I think it's one of the reasons why we sold out the Roxy without being, you know, a band that's like huge, that's been around forever, you know. We're fucking babies in this game, you know what I mean? But we're already selling out shows. Why? Because I think the audience recognizes the power and the connection that him and I have in what we've created. They like, again, it's like real recognizes real, you know what I mean? They know that this is authentic, that it's powerful, you know, that it's magic.
Let's talk a little bit about your live set. We were just mentioning earlier, like the whole knife situation, like you toss knives and people know that about you. But I mean, what really inspired that to actually do that on stage? My
lifestyle, you know. I grew up in gangs and stuff, and like, you know, I've been stabbed. People have stabbed me, and I just have this relationship with knives, you know, and in a lot of ways. One, because they've been inside of me, and you know, there's like some personal connection that I have. I think that, you know, there's such a thing as like spirits, right? We're all born with them. Like some people have the spirit of the warrior. Some people have the spirit of the teacher, the shaman, the mother, the father. There's all these spirits, the spirit of the artist. And I just happen to be a vessel for those spirits. The spirit of, I have the spirit of the artist and the spirit of the warrior. And you know, what happens, I think, in the times that we're living in, a lot of people don't have outlets for these spirits, especially for the warrior spirit. And a lot of people end up in jail. You know what I mean? So I don't really know why I have this connection with knife. Well, I do, but I know that it's something that I was just born with. Why was I attracted to violence? I don't know. There's something in me that needs to address that and acknowledge it, right? And I have. When we don't acknowledge the things that are in us, we drive ourselves mad. A lot of people end up in prison. Some warriors go to, you know, join the army and go fight wars because they have to exercise that spirit that's within them. I've been saved by night. That's why I have Ready to Bleed. That song is from a situation that happened to me. I was walking one night, and you know, I was on the streets. I had beef with this rival crew. I saw they came over to our family's establishment, and they had done some graffiti on our family's establishment to disrespect me directly. They couldn't get a hold of me, so they went to our family's establishment, wrote their, you know, their names, and I saw that. I went and I crossed it out, and it was actually a trap. They were waiting for me, and then like 15 guys came and surrounded me, and the only reason I survived that is because I had a knife. So I pulled out my knife, got my back against the wall, and I just defended myself and made sure that no one was able to get near me until my brothers came, and then it was an all-out rumble. But if it wasn't for that knife, I would have got my ass kicked by 15 guys.
Dang, that's crazy.
So for me, like, my knife is just a part of my being. It's again telling the story of who I am and what I'm about, you know? Just like these boots that I wear, and you know what I mean, the tattoos on my body, like, it's just part of like my being. You know, some people are not going to understand it. Some people are going to think it's ignorant or hate on it or whatever, but you know what? They're not me. And they're not living the life that I'm living, the life that I'm experiencing. You know, they're only experiencing theirs, so they can only speak for themselves and for what they know, as I'm doing. I can only speak for myself and what I've known and what I've lived. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I behave the way that I know that's fit to the life that I live.
The album drops today, Young Gods.
Yeah, it's the best fucking
and
album.
I was listening to it earlier, and it's pretty awesome. I really dig it. But any plans on tours so we can actually get that album out and you guys performing live?
We're gonna tour it in the States right now. You know, I am you know, I have a criminal record, and it's bad. You know, a really bad criminal record. So I can't just be touring like everyone else can. I have to get a lawyer and try to get some of my stuff expunged, and once that gets handled with, you know, with the lawyers, then most likely, yeah, we'll be able to tour. But right now we're stuck here in the States until things change, you know, because, you know, I do have a past and it's haunting me.